Heat spreads under my skin, too sharp to ignore. I can't tell if it's pain or the moment everything changes. I lean into the only thing keeping me upright, even though my body is begging me not to. His touch steadies me, and that's what scares me most, because it feels like safety, and safety shouldn't hurt like this. Some memories don't return softly. They tear their way back in. They make you grateful for the very thing that left you broken. After tonight, I won't be able to pretend I don't know. The air shifts, the world fractures, and the night I tried to forget finally finds me. This is Bound to Blood and Moonlight, a good werewolf romance. As always, I read for you, and you enjoy the plot. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let us read. Chapter 20. The night he saved me and damned me. Leora pressed her palm against the cold stone of the corridor, shoving herself slightly away from Damien, just as the forest vision slammed back into her mind. The sights and sounds came rushing in, twisting her confusion into a chilling dread. The child's scream echoed again, louder this time, vibrating in her bones like raw, unfiltered terror. Her scar seared, pulsing with deep, relentless heat, and the air around her shimmered as though the hallway itself were bending under the memory's weight. Damien's composure finally cracked. He lunged toward her, desperation sharpening his movements, catching her elbow as she stumbled and struggled against the vision. The dread clinging to her eased just a fraction at his presence. But the fragile trust it brought was immediately tangled with the intensity of the bond between them. His touch, meant to steady, only made the vision flare brighter behind her eyes. He whispered, his voice tight with warning, "Not again. Not here." Beneath her shirt, her pendant glowed white-hot, and the sharp, earthy scent of forest and smoke hit her like a jolt. Reality ripped with a sound like tearing fabric, and the cold stone corridor dissolved into the frantic dark greens of a nighttime forest. Leora's fragile trust shattered, replaced by pure terror. Trees bent inward in gnarled silhouettes against a sickly moon, pointing toward something hidden deep within the woods. A deafening roar of wind swept around her, though the corridor no longer existed. And then she saw it, a small figure darting between the trees. Damien froze. His body went rigid, and Leora felt the agony twisting his face before she understood its meaning. He knew this night. He had lived it in nightmares he clearly didn't want her to witness. He tried to pull her back, his hand shaking violently in hers, but the force of the vision held them fast. He could only gasp, strangled. No, not this. Blinking against the sensory overload, Leora noticed something that didn't fit her old memories. Glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, a wolf, not a man. Confusion replaced her agony. The massive, dark shape wasn't attacking the child, it was shielding her, tracking something else in the shadows. The warm fog of its breath brushed against the cold air. Leora gasped, barely able to speak. That's me. Driven by a sudden, fierce instinct, Leora knelt in the vision, reaching toward her terrified younger self. Vulnerability and a deep ache washed over her. The child clutched something glinting, her pendant, broken and bloodied. Just as Leora stretched her hand toward the child, a shadow moved behind the trees, impossibly fast and dark. Leaves crunched sharply beneath her knees, unnervingly real. Before she could reach the child, the shadow lunged with a blade. Horror slammed into her, freezing her in place. The cloaked figure wielded a knife etched with the same sigil she had glimpsed before. The metallic gleam filled her vision, and then Damien's wolf exploded into motion, not toward the attacker, but directly between the child and the blade. The dark, massive form scooped the child by the scruff and carried her clear of the strike. Relief crashed over Leora, immediate, overwhelming. Her mind rebelled against what she was seeing. The image of protective ferocity contradicted every piece of trauma she had believed. She watched herself, small, fragile, being carried to safety in the wolf's jaws. Her scar flared, white-hot, sinking her present pain with a long-buried, forgotten memory. The warmth of the wolf's breath touched the child's hair. Then a blinding flash erupted, swallowing both the wolf and the child. When the light faded, relief twisted into crushing devastation. The memory she had trusted, the one she thought she knew, had been overwritten. Static remnants lingered, fractured, incomplete. At the forest's hazy edge stood Marcus, unmoving, watching it all. The vision shattered like frozen glass, yanking them violently back into the cold corridor. Leora collapsed, her knees hitting stone, but Damien's arms caught her before she fell completely. Shock pressed down on her, hollow, too heavy for tears. Even as the forest vanished, the child's desperate scream lingered in her mind. A low rumble of thunder rolled outside the high windows. She clung to his coat, voice fragile. "You saved me." Damien jerked away as though burned, shoving himself upright and shaking his head. The hollow shock morphed into the sting of his own heartbreak. He didn't look at her, eyes fixed on the empty space where the forest had been. "I got there too late. I didn't stop the first blow," he admitted, words ripped from him, the sharp scent of rain sweeping through the corridor. Leora's breath trembled in the cold air. Before she could respond, the elders appeared at the far end of the corridor, rigid, unyielding. Their presence chilled her immediately, turning heartbreak into sharp fear. The echo of their footsteps was cold, judging. One elder spoke, voice firm as granite. "It's begun. The prophecy binds them." Another stepped forward, voice low, warning, "We can still sever it." Leora met Damien's eyes across the small space, but it felt impossibly vast. Her voice was thin, trembling under the weight of revelation and guilt. "It was you. You carried me." Relief and guilt collided violently. Damien staggered back as if struck, shock and pain raw in his expression. Thunder cracked outside, a perfect punctuation to the rift opening between them. Then a sound came, neither theirs, nor the elders, nor the storm. A whisper from the prophecy itself, resonating deep in Leora's chest. The chill ran straight through her, filling her with dread. "Truth binds, or destroys," it intoned. The air vibrated, raising gooseflesh. The bond between her and Damien flared sharply, painfully, as if something ancient and vital had chosen a path for them.